everyone, it's Logan, also known as the Don from the Unrefusables. This is the start to my Interactive Broker series. We're going to start it off with layouts here today, getting things set up, and going forward in future videos, we're going to be going over orders, which orders to be using in terms of limits, the algo, which different maybe setups you should be using in different times, whether you need to be managing your portfolio, table trading, chart trading, those different ideas with maybe some emphasis on some more of the complexities of IB. One thing I will say off the start is that IB likes to act like it's a lot more complex than it is. I'm going to show you the simplified version of what I have, whether it's simple to you or not. You're coming from an iPhone 4 Robinhood screen with greasy finger mobile trading. It's going to be more of the same, just the information posted in a little bit of a different manner that you're going to need as you sort of, ramp up your trading depending on your style. It might be different. I'm a technical trader. You're not going to be seeing anything about news and all the hype, and you're not going to just have one big buy and sell button and the number in the chart. That's not what we have here. So let's get this started here, guys. Now, first up, I've got four different layouts that I use in terms of tabs. I have two 43-inch monitors, so keep this in mind that all four of these tabs are taking up a quadrant of a screen. My other screen is trading view. So just to quickly show you, this is what you guys see on the stream. I obviously have multiple charts open up. I only show you guys one of the charts, but we switch back and forth. But just keep this in mind. I don't use the individual charts on IB other than option charts, and you're going to see that. Let's start off with the options tab here. This is a little bit more informational. This would not be the screen that I'm using when I'm actively trying to get trades done. So for instance, in the open, when I'm looking at hundreds of different tickers all at once, watching price movement, watching you get a lot of colors flashing on your screen. You're trying to take it all in at once. This is not really the screen for you. It's a little bit more informational, maybe intraday, and then of course the biggest part of trading, which is prep work, looking through different option chains and looking at the chart and the like, right? So first up, option chain. You're going to see my option chain has a little bit of extra data in there. So first of all, we're just taking a look at Chewy. We've got about 20 strikes open here. Of course, dependent on the ticker, how many contracts there are. 20 is a little bit extreme on Chewy here. Of course, 165 is a little bit much here, but for some of you, this might be a nice, that four volume, that's probably somebody in this chat. So anyway, let's take a look. I have added in change with the Greeks and implied volatility, of course, being my big thing. I'm a volatility kind of guy. You can't see it because the market's not open, but you can see it down here on the implied volatility with 3 monthlies set forward. I am going to show you how to set this up at the end of the video. But down here, you've got March, April, the different contracts. Again, in terms of using this during your trading, you wanted to have already probably looked at this beforehand, but keep that in mind. You get your order entry window, which I'm going to say it now. Every single one of your tabs should have an order entry window on there. Otherwise, you're going to run into a few problems where windows are getting popped open and you've got 100 different orders getting sent through. Not a good look. Have an order entry window on everything. And I'm going to show you why in a moment. Down here, we got the activity window. So these are pending orders, trades that have already been sent, and then just a summary of whatever you have done before as well. Again, this is a paper trading account. I have put some orders so you can sort of see what it looks like with TWOU. We're looking for a call with the stop loss in there, just so you can see it down here. There's going to be another window to show you, but again, I like to see this as I'm looking through just in case. Over here, I have an intraday chart that's connected with the options, so I'm going to show you the grouping in a second, but as you switch through, you're going to have different things change. Over here is the monitor chart. I've got watch lists. I'm a big sort of, again, I only trade options, and so I'm really big on, in terms of my prep, putting in the options that I want to be actively trading that next day, putting them into the watch list. I don't want to be going to the option chain and saying, oh yeah, I might want to buy 120s on Chewy. No, I already know going into the day that if, based on the technicals, if Chewy's going to be going bid, then I'm going to want to buy 120s. So you're going to want them in a watch list. So this is where prep work comes in. You're going to want to put these in here. And again, for this screen, you're seeing a lot of different things at once, but they all sort of point to the same idea, but just in different information sort of ways, right? Charts, the list, the chain. These are all saying the same thing. And then over here, you've got level 2 with times and sale date as well. Not as important for options in terms of looking at, let's say you're looking at the SPY, of course, looking at that liquidity is going to be a little different, but still something to certainly be watching. You want to know, who's out there. If you're looking at something, Chewy may not be the best example, but, something that might have a little bit less volume, you want to know what the liquidity is out there. And certainly when we talk about the boogeymen, right, our boogeyman emote, you want to know who the players are, and you're going to be able to see that with the market 2 data. We're going to have a video going over that. This is not like the market depth trader where you've got blocks, color blocks, and everything else. And that would be more, a little bit more in depth, and we'll go over that at a different date. Anyway, this is the screen. I'm going to take you now over to my preferred method, a little bit more active trading. You guys know me as a big list kind of guy. Holy moly, this guy, can he post any more tickers, please, more charts? Okay, first of all, here's our underlyings, right? Our individual tickers. Again, I don't have everything in here, but just to show you what what the screens look like on my side. Over here, you've got all the underlyings, and again, the colors are a little off because it's not market hours. Down here, you can see some active tickers, just currencies trading in terms of color schemes. But again, you'll have different price movements depending on maybe what matters to you. Of course, I've added in the bids and asks, even the spread volume, just to see these over here. These are the individuals. In terms of other watch lists, again, this is up to data that you want to see. I'm just giving you examples here, treasuries when we talk about bonds, whatever it is, right? It does not, it's up to you what you're watching, but just to give you an idea. And then over here, I have my options. Again, this is what I'm looking to trade. So this is my portfolio. Yeah, we're going to get to the portfolio tab. I do have it here just for convenience, but this is sort of my table trading tab. Some of you are new to this idea, and this again comes down to intensive preparation and looking at the ticker, knowing what the chart looks like. Now, you guys, or a lot of you in the Discord are members because of the charts I post. Those of you that might be your first time, we're going to go over those. You'll see those later. But in terms of IB, I know what these charts look like. You ask me what any of these charts look like, I know exactly where the chart is, right? I have a very good understanding, and this is where you're going to need this to be a bit smaller until you start to really ramp up in terms of watching. Now, most of you all know that the more you know and the more you see, the better of a chance you are going to be able to capture something, right? So having these options here in relation to the underlying, watching these when the bell rings, right, and seeing the bids come in, right, the bid size, seeing that a resistance is being broken, and then seeing that all of the liquidity is being bought, right, and it's all the asks are coming off and going to the bids, seeing that. And then seeing over here with the option that might be leading it or might be delayed and you're going to be able to get in there. These are important concepts, and again, might be a bit much. I'll just give you a quick example. So we're looking at Chewy, right? We're going to go over order entries and everything, but I'm just going to quickly just sort of show you here. So let's say it's 9:30. I'm watching the Chewy. I see the Chewy over here. I've got it on a chart. However, again, we're going to go over hotkeys and everything like that in different videos, but over here, you're either getting a buy button here, or by clicking on it, these are again grouped. I'm going to show this in the at the end of the video, but all of these colors, that means everything's grouped. So based on what I click on, it's going to click with whatever the group is, right? So let's say I want to buy Chewy 140s. It's as quick as, again, table trading. We'll show you things, but just to show you clicking, I click here, I'm buying. Let's say I just want to buy one limit. Let's say my limit's $3, right? Let's say I want to stop in there even. Stop at, let's say, 240, whatever it is. Submit it. I'm done. Now, these windows we're going to go over as well. Maybe not in this video, but you do not want all of these different things going off all the time, right? You're trying to trade and it's like, oh, set this up in your, right? Don't display this message again. That's what you want to be getting rid of because, again, this should be as seamless as clicking here and you're done. And so now your orders are in here, right? Now, most of you know that a lot of my strategy is actually getting these orders in before the market's even started, right? So I want I want these in here. We're going to go over this in another video of how to just have orders, right? Just sitting within here. And a lot of this is intuitive, right? A lot of this is intuitive. And so that's paused now. So it's not going to go through unless I send it through. These kind of ideas we'll go over, but just wanted to show you there what this table sort of view looks like. Now, also important, very important over here is the portfolio tab. A lot of the times you're also just trading from this table. So a lot of you know that I get up to 50. The 100 is the max, not going over 100 positions, but this will be full of tickers. I like to keep this portfolio view not as, oh, let me go take a look at my portfolio. Wow, I'm doing great. And again, these are just paper trades just so you could actually see the equities aren't trading right now. So there's some currencies. You can see the different columns I've added in here. Again, we'll go over that at the end of the video. So usually you just got profit and loss, position, average, and market value, right? I've added in bids, asks, volume, option interest, right? The change percent. This is so that you can trade from this table, right? So you've got, let's say you get 20 tickers in, 20 options in here, right? You want to be able to trade from that. Again, you'll have your orders over here. You can even set it. You can even set it to the group as well, just to the portfolio group, and I'll show you that at the end. So that, let's say we're watching the SPY go down, right, at close, going into a weekend. And let's say you have Visa calls that are really tied into that SPY, and you want to take that. Let's say you're over 100%. You're willing to take the profit on that due to the SPY coming down. The Visa calls will likely come down. That way you can just go over there, sell it, and then you're done, right? You're done, and you have it on the portfolio tab here. A lot of the times, you know when you need to be managing positions, right? You're not actively looking anymore. You're in active sort of maybe damage control, right? And you want to be clicking through here, maybe grouping multiple different things together. I'm not sure what that was. Let me get out of that. And want to be selling multiple things. You want to be on your portfolio tab, getting the orders up. Okay, thank you. And so I like to have this here sort of as its own. Again, this is one of the quadrants on the screen. In terms of this, you could certainly just have it with your list extended, right? I'm trying to show you in a little bit more constrained because I know screen-wise, most people do not have a screen that sort of is a TV screen, right? It's a little different. So keeping that in mind, I would just have this extended, right? It's on the same screen, so you can't see it here. But these are extended. Over here is just for quick looks at the options, right? So I can see where my order is as I'm sort of going through and managing trades. Again, I'm big on charts, but I go through TradingView. I actually don't use the broker, and so that's on the other side. In terms of charts, this again would be the option charts. Let me just switch this over to, let's say, let's switch it over to the 140s here, like the 120s. You have these, see how these are all grouped again by the color. Down here, I have market ETFs by by intradays, and then with the volatility, a lot of the times I will have this again on TradingView. This will actually be ungrouped options that I'm constantly watching. So say I have some positions that I know I need to be watching, like these 130s that I'm in, or let's say these TWOU 55s, this kind of thing that I need to see on the chart, due to maybe it's not updating very well in terms of liquidity, or maybe even the exact opposite, right? Is that the chart sucks because there's no volume on the chart, and I need to be watching, or something like volatility, right? Is that sometimes you need to throw in something like a volatility that you're on. Let's say you're on March 19s on 20s over here, right, on the VXX, and you want this in here because you don't, sometimes watching the table doesn't tell you what you need to see because of the way these orders come in, right? So I'll do that through the charts on IB. This is just an example of different things, and again, the grouping's a little different. So these are the windows here, again, that I use. So keeping these in mind, the different sort of the aspects here of what I'm using actively, most of the time trading through tables, and then sort of a gradient between the charts of option charts, volatility charts based on what I need in the moment. Again, this is just a layout. To show you the Mosaic, this is what you usually see, right? This is what you usually see for a window. If you prefer this because you're not trading too much, then that's fine, right? Completely fine. And then in terms of the classic over here, this is also a similar situation where you can click right on the table. I'm going to show you how you can just do this on the table that I have anyway, but this is the same thing where you're clicking on it, right? And then it's right in here, right? And depending on your order size, you can go ahead and quickly do these things, right? I'm going to show you that on the table view for the order entry video and really active trading video. But again, you could do this, and this is so much easier. If you know, then you don't need to be going through all this stuff, right? You can just click immediately on the chart and do what you need to do. Again, on this is opening up tabs. I don't want 100 different things opening, and we'll do that in another video. So again, this is what I have set up. It looks a little different when you have more tickers. One thing I will say is that depending on the day and also sort of the style in which the market's in, I will make these lists bigger with, up to 500, 600 tickers, and then also populate it with options. So again, you're just, you can put whatever you want to be watching in here, right? You throw it in there, stock, great, that's it. Or let's say you wanted the options. Let's say you were doing, I don't know, March monthlies for 345s, and now you can watch those, right? So that already automatically added. You can just click and it will throw all those in here, right? We'll just throw those in there. So again, these, I'm not going to go over these more basic sort of things here. I am going to show you how to set this up if you are looking to create basically what I have, right? So what you're going to be doing, again, when you hit new, it will just open this up, but the way that you're editing on any window is you're clicking this lock button. So unlock new window. So let's say you want to create what I have there on that options tab, right? Okay, order entry, I've told you. You want that order entry so that you don't, when you're clicking things, you don't have new windows opening up. It just automatically comes here. Now again, grouping. You want to be grouping so that all of these windows are connected, so that when you select a ticker on a chart, it groups to here, right? So let's say chart as well. Let's throw our chart in here, right? So again, you can set this up how you want based on your screen. It doesn't necessarily matter. I'm going to show you what happens, let's say if there's no group here, right? Let's say I switch to a ticker here. See how this doesn't change because it's not in the same group? What you want to do is click this group windows, select a color, and so that when you do select a different order entry here, I gotta switch something else, it will actually switch on the individual windows themselves, right? So whatever it is you're doing, it'll switch. So that's there. Now over here, orders. So again, you can type these in. Orders is the activity window. Activity window, you want to be adding trades as well. Summary you don't really need, but you can add in orders, trade, summary. That's your pending trades or trades you've already committed. Now, again, this depends on how much you trade. I usually will have a significant amount in here, which is why on that list view you have a whole screen dedicated to it. Again, you can't really see it well here in the video, but I get pretty dramatic. Some of you have seen some of those pictures. When you have a few hundred different pending orders, I mean, you need to see it. But anyway, this is to show you on a more limited screen space. So anyway, this is what we have here. Okay, you're trading options, you need an option chain. Let's throw in the option chain, throw this up here, right? So again, easy to drag these different things. We'll go over the strategy builder idea and things like that. Not exactly a layout specific sort of thing. So again, here's your option chain. Now I am going to mention over here on the option chain, what you can do is you're going to right click. You're going to right click anywhere on this list and go to configure. And if it's only going to show you the usuals, right? And so what you're going to do is come over here. You can click options. You're going to be able to click implied volatility, add that in. You can go over to Greeks, add in delta, gamma, theta, vega, right? Throw those over here, add them. All you're doing is simply clicking add and remove, right? And you can sort it however you want, right? So you're going to want to throw those in there. The same thing is to be said for other windows. So you want your watch list in here, right? So the watch list is a monitor window. So as you add that in over here, what you're going to see is as you add in, right, let's say, again, just to quickly show you, let's say you wanted to add in an option. Say this is your option window. See how it only starts with last change and change? What you can do is, again, right click up here, manage columns, and you can actually go ahead and add those different things you want there. Let's say you want option volume, right? You want option volume, the open interest. Let's say you want the implied volatility, right? Great. And let's say, on this, you also want some different prices in there. Let's say you want ask, so you can just go ahead, throw those all in there, apply, add. Great. Now I've got all the different things I wanted to see so that I can actively watch, right? You can rename this. Yeah. Great. Good stuff, right? And add those in there. And again, grouping. You will automatically start to group them as you've already switched it once. And again, this is sort of an important sort of concept unless you have a chart here that you do not want connected to it. Next up, if you wanted the volatility, implied volatility, it's the implied volatility viewer here. When you add this in, it's going to be dependent on how you viewed volatility in the past. I'm most likely guessing. In terms of this here, you want it to be in the 3 months most likely. Again, most times the monthlies only go up to 3 months. So this says February, March, and April, and you can see that volatility graph, and again grouped to the color so that as you switch, everything will switch. So again, you switch, everything switches, right? And lastly is level 2. So this is just the basic level 2. This isn't the depth trader, which is an entire book. We'll go over that later. This is the really just bare bones. Shows you the MMs, and that's it. You don't need to be ridiculous there, right? You're trading options. And last up is time and sales, right? Time and sales. Now this is nice to see. I would say, so you can see the orders going through, see what the sizing is. A lot of the times if you're trading a retail ticker, you know when the retail's in there. They're flashing 69, they're spoofing 69s, and they're in there trading one contract. Those types, you want to know when something is, and we talk about it a lot, right? You want to know when it's more retail based, and this is where you just quickly see these flashing. And again, you change up your sizing. I'm just trying to show you here real quick. Let's say you want to throw the portfolio in here, right? So you've got everything in there. This is very straightforward. And again, you can add whatever windows you want in here. This is my setup. And then again, when you're done, you click the lock button again, save changes. You're done. Good job, trader. That's really the basics of what I have here. In terms of more layout things, there's not much here. Again, the information that's available to you, we don't bullshit here, right? There's no such thing as shortcuts and using a shit ton of indicators and acting like some of these things don't matter. It comes down to knowing what you need for information and an understanding what it is that you're trying to do when you're trading. I think a lot of the times it is made out to be that there's this hype factor and there's other news things. Have you seen any news on any of these windows? You didn't see any news on any of these windows, right? Because that's not the important piece of what you're trying to do when you're trading. The one thing I want to leave you with is when you're looking at these layouts, same as when you're looking at a chart, right? When you look at a chart, you're looking at it through the lens of trading. When you look at your different, watch lists, you're looking at your portfolio, your charts page, anything to do with options, you're looking at it through the lens of trading. If it doesn't activate some sort of trade, if it doesn't initiate something for you and it doesn't give you information that you need, then you don't need it. And that's what IB will do, is it wants to show you things that you don't need, right? You go into, I'm just going to make this as the last point, I'm done here. You start talking about like probability lab, like, Don, what about the probability lab? What about, what if I think it's going to be out here and it tells me that I can even make a delta neutral strategy and and build a strategy and look at, man, look at my probability profit and all these different things, right? A lot of this you start to get into where they're making their money, which is some of these ideas that you don't need to get this complex. It's usually a little bit more simple than that. And it's knowing how to cut through the bullshit. It's knowing how to avoid the phony YouTubers that have greasy fingers, trading and don't really know what they're doing. They're taking the stimulus checks, having a good time trading, GameStop, right? This is a professional look. This is what I use. Keep it simple. I hope this helps a bit. Next video is going to be about order entries, active trading. Are you going to be seeing more of this? So I hope this helps. You got questions, let me know. This is just the start. I'll see you guys in chat. I'll see you guys in the Discord, whatever else. Have a good one.